what is going on, guys? It is Foxydude here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we have got our gameplay reveal for Gunderdome's big update, or major update number 1, update 1. I think I called it update 1. But we have got the first gameplay for you guys for update 1 and what update 1 is going to look like. So if you end up enjoying today's video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. And without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through pretty much all of the update stuff for you guys here live, and then we're going to jump into some post-com gameplay where I've recorded some of the gameplay for the update. So let's get straight into it then. So the first thing that we have done is, I mean, a very small one, but the options menu, or the options button, has been moved up to here, and the extras has been moved down to the bottom. Not really that crazy, but inside the options menu now, there is an entirely brand new options menu, which you guys can see, and you can actually go ahead and adjust for yourself. So the screen resolution is now various different types of resolutions for you guys to actually use. So you can use 720 by 480, 1280 by 720, 920 by 1080, and then 2560 by 1440. That used to be, I think it used to be just these three for the screen resolution on the options menu, but there's now a whole brand new set of options which you can see down here, and we're going to go through them with you guys right now. So in the Gunderdome that you guys have been playing, there hasn't actually been a way yet, apart from going into the in-game files, to change the graphic settings to your liking. Obviously, that's not the way that I wanted to do it, but I just needed a little bit of extra time post-launch to get this complete for you guys, and here it is. So as you can see, the view distance to start with, you can now change how the view distance works for you in-game. So pretty much the best way to describe how the view distance is if you're looking from, let's say that you're on my Hangar 87 map and you're running along the top of the walkway, if you look all the way down into the, where you can go into the hallway to then to go and teleport, pretty much that view distance is going to be slightly less clearer for you guys. So it just allows for, you know, how much the viewing distance is going to be affected. So if you've got view distance on near, it just means everything that's close to you is going to make, you know, is going to be at a high resolution. And then if you then look at things that are far away, that's going to be a lower resolution to pretty much help conserve the PC and not let it blow up, basically. And that pretty much goes for the same then for anti-aliasing, shadow quality, and texture quality. These are all just graphics updates, basically. So in terms of the shadow quality, do you want, you know, high shadow quality? Do you want low shadow quality? Do you want more shadows to be in there, you know, that are at a very high quality? Or do you want less shadows to be shown? Some of the shadows on low quality won't actually get shown. They'll just not be visible, and only the ones that are very, very prominent will actually be there for you guys. And again, with like the texture quality, do you want, you know, the utmost highest from all of the textures in the game, or do you need something a little bit lower for your liking? So now in the options menu, you can go ahead and change everything to what you fancy. The only thing that's not quite available, which is going to be in this update, which hopefully later down the line, as I've got lots of things to develop at the moment, is allow you to save the settings. What you will have to do is, if you decide to select the settings of your choice, you are then going to have to go ahead, if you restart the game that is, you'll have to go ahead and select the settings again. I just need to add in a section later down the line to allow you to save your option settings, which will come in a future update later down the line. But this is kind of one of the big updates. I wasn't actually anticipating on bringing this options update out straight away. However, I just had a day when I was working where everything was just going to plan, and I ended up getting it all done. So hey ho, so you can now pick your options and move on from there. Next up then, we're going to go over into the play section, and the big thing on this update is there is now a brand new difficulty game mode or difficulty setting for you guys now to play in Gunderdome. You can see here that each of the maps have now got an easy, medium, and hard, and you guys can select the one that you want. And obviously there is now a scroll box, so you can scroll down through each of the levels and pick them. It is obviously a little bit of a faff that there is, obviously you have to scroll down to each one. Eventually later down the line, I'll try and clean this up a little bit more, but for now it kind of works. It works perfectly. So basically, doing it this way, it just means that also on your leaderboard as well now, if, for example, you set a score on easy mode and you got, like I did here on a test run here, 20,864, if you then went onto medium, it's not going to change. You know, you're not going to overlap your scores. So you're never going to get lost on what difficulty you set your score on. You're now going to have a separate leaderboard for or separate score for each of the difficulties that you've set. And then here on hard, you can see that I set, 28,000 score, but it doesn't overlap on my easy difficulty score, which is absolutely great. And you can see here, again, with Hangar 87, on easy, you know, 79,000 score, brilliant. You know, on medium, I set 139,000, and then on hards here, you know, the best I've done so far is 16,800, which is pretty poor, actually. And then again, frozen under. I haven't actually done any. Oh, no, I did. I did one where I got 350. Let's go. But you can see that is a big update in there. Pretty much the biggest thing overall. And then the only the little small thing here is when you go ahead and select a level now, you can see there's just a lot more clearer. Beforehand, this was a grayish background, and the opacity was very, very low, and it actually didn't cover the full screen, which was a little bit clumsy on my behalf. Now the whole background covers the screen. I've changed the color from gray into black and increased the opacity in order for the select level symbol by here to just be more prominent and more, you know, forefront in terms of the screen that you're looking at right there. So they're all of the big updates on the main front of things. Obviously, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into some gameplay on easy, medium, and hard. We're going to be using Hangar 87 because these are the scores I've actually set for it. So you're going to go see those gameplays now. I'll explain a bit more about all of the stat changes in there as well as a few of the weapons and a couple of minor fixes that have been done as well in the game. So without further ado, let's get straight into the gameplay and see all of the changes in action. Alright then, guys, so let's go have a look at some gameplay then of Gunderdome and showcase pretty much all of the changes that have gone on. So as we get straight into it, as you can see, we're straight away running along the hallway, and we're going straight into the medical facility, because the first major update coming into Gunderdome is that the medical facility has had a slight little tweak. You can see it right here. So as we go into the doorway, you can see that it opens and there is now a weapons pad inside of the medical bay, along in the hallway, as well as then an actual opportunity for the AIs to come and attack you. What I noticed was that the AIs in the medical facility don't really actually get near you. It's very hard to actually get attacked by them. So by activating that doorway and putting it there, it just means that the AIs will spot you, then they can just come through that doorway instead and move on from there. And it's just a much easier way of going about fixing that problem. But we're going to go straight into a gameplay now on the easy difficulty. Of course, we've got a big update now where you can pick your gameplay difficulty. So fighting on easy, you can see that when the enemies explode, they don't explode in blue, they explode in green. Now, each AI difficulty has got their own different explosion effect. For this one, it is green, and the reason I picked green, I decided to do it based on sort of like color threat. So green is quite a bright color. It's not really, you know, anything to be feared about, and you can already see how the gameplay is slower. So the AIs are working in a very different format. So for the easy difficulty, first of all, the AI spawn in at a slower rate. They're not all going to spawn in very, very quickly. I believe the spawn time is 1.4 seconds, if I can remember off the top of my head. So an AI every 1.4 seconds or I can't remember the exact stat. I have my patch notes, but I haven't actually got them up on screen right now. I'm looking at the gameplay at the same time. So that's the first thing that's been adjusted. The spawn time for the AIs on easy. They don't spawn as quickly. The second thing is obviously the movement. You can see here, I'm just standing still at this point. I'm not actually doing anything. And you can see here that the AIs, or my wolves, sorry, they're just doing the work for me. Like, I'm not really doing anything. Obviously, this is not the difficulty I would personally run on, but of course, there's people out there that don't know how to use mouse and keyboard. So, you know, you need a little bit of time to adjust, and by using this difficulty, you can see I'm hardly moving as much. And you can see the AIs are not moving at the quick speed that you normally would see them at. Next, obviously, is their damage output. Obviously, their damage output for being on easy mode is going to be a lot lower than what the other difficulty is going to apply. So it does mean that, obviously, you'll take less damage from each of the hits. And again, all the stats have been adjusted to utilize that, really, to make sure that you can live for a longer period of time when you're running on this difficulty. And also, their health has been adjusted. So here, on easy difficulty, their health is at their lowest. So they're very easy to kill. And you'll be able to pick them off quite easily, actually, as those two areas get a little bit over the top there. But you can literally see how much more relaxing, should I say, the gameplay is. Obviously, like I said, a lot show. Shout out to my wolf. And you can see here that I'm getting hit quite a few times by the turret droids, but they're not really doing anything. And you can see here that I'm just sort of doing something a little bit different in the gameplay. In all the Gunderdome gameplays that I've ever shown, the premise is really that you just have to keep moving. You've got to keep moving. You've got to get those kills. And you're mostly looking backwards a lot of the time as well, or running backwards, because you've got to concentrate on the AIs. But you can see here, I'm getting my kills running forward. I'm moving backwards a little bit. But you can just see here that I can actually go at the AIs on this difficulty. You know, they're spawning at a slow rate, they've got low health, they've got low movement speed, so I can come at them. And obviously, because I've got experience with playing on a mouse and keyboard, for me, obviously, I can camp their spawns. So, if you don't want to camp the spawns and make the gameplay boring, obviously don't play on easy. Obviously, pick the difficulty that suits you. And as you can see, you could just tell from the gameplay how relaxing it is. Like, I'm literally going at their spawn, just taking it out. You can see I'm already up to like 600 or 700 kills, and my score is over 50,000 now, so you can just see how much easy it is. And obviously there's plenty of wolves around the map that are obviously doing a lot of the justice for me. It's a very, very calm and relaxing time, but once we get to the medium and hard difficulties, you'll find out that it's not as relaxing as the other ones. But obviously, the thing was I really wanted to get the difficulty thing in very, very quickly, because it's something that I wanted to get in at launch, but wasn't able to. Yeah, too many different factors came into play, but obviously, you know, we're still working hard on it. And you can see here that I'm just sitting in their spawn right now, just taking them out. I got a wolf getting yeeted there, big up the fire wolf getting a yeet. But you can see that I'm just chilling, got my shotgun out. So we'll go through a couple of the stat changes as well, because there have been a few minor stat changes to two of the weapons. So the FD9A, which you're seeing on screen right now, that has had an increase in its damage from it used to do 7 damage, it now does 8 damage. You can see here that I actually got over 1,000 kills, so I decided to just wrap up the gameplay recording. Also, to show you guys the damage as well, you can see how long it's taking for them to really to damage me. It took them quite some time here. We're going to go into medium AI now and roll with that and see, you know, what the difference is. Now, for medium AI, this is very, very similar to what the game is currently now. So the base game that you guys have all been playing, this is basically medium difficulty for you guys. However, medium AI is a tiny bit easier than the base game. So for medium AI, what I did is I took the stats from the base game at the moment that's currently out and pretty much just decreased it very, very slightly. But it is a little bit easier than what, you know, is the base game difficulty at the moment. So, with the medium AI, again, the health has been adjusted. You can see that the AIs are spawning in faster. It's very hard for me to actually camp their spawns. You can already see how the movement is different. You can see I'm speeding up my movement a little bit, just making sure that I've got my gap. Then I'm going in for the attacks here and there. And that's kind of how it works on that front. So, a lot of different movements and stuff in there. Cheeky little explosion with the rocket launcher, you know, getting a bit of a hit in there. But as I was saying before we loaded into this gameplay here, the FD98, which is the my big LMG, that now does 8 damage rather than 7, which it used to beforehand. Then the SG54, which is the shotgun, which you saw at the very end of the gameplay. If we get onto it again in this video, I'm pretty sure that we do see it again. That has had a buff on 2 areas, so it has had an increase in its bullets. You can now have 35 when it used to have 30, and it's also has an increase in damage up from 6, which was its original damage. It's gone up to 8. I just felt like the shotgun, when you spam it a lot, you don't really get much out of it. I felt like 30 blasters, bullets, whatever you want to say, was a little bit weak in my opinion. And then also the amount of damage that it does. Sometimes it was getting hit markers, and I'm like, you know, I'm talking like close range. I'm like, this is not really what I wanted. I kind of want it to just, you know, I want it to be one of those shotguns where you just mow through them. You're in a corner, or maybe you're in a little difficult situation. There's not really a weapon in the game where you can just spam it and you can just mow your way on through. There isn't really that. Whereas obviously with the SG54, that's kind of what I wanted. And it wasn't really doing that. So the shotgun has taken a buff. And the rest of the guns have all stayed the same. I'm happy with the performance of them. Maybe we'll make some changes to them later down the line. Or maybe I'll do an update where I just adjust all of the weapons and just see how it goes really. But you can see now here, taking advantage of the teleporters. I'm going into the control room now here. I spent a lot of time actually in my gameplay run-throughs going into this control room because it's just a very fun open area to work with. And yeah, the AIs definitely struggle to take me out in here. There's plenty of open space as well. I can really control the fight through here to get a cheeky snipe in there. So here's the FD98. So obviously this is one of the guns that got a buff. So again, it does a little extra damage, up by 1 point. Obviously the AIs, it sounds a bit weak when you say like the gun does 7 damage, now it does 8. Obviously the health of the AIs is kind of weak, like for example, the turreted bull, that only has like 25 health, I think, on some of them. Obviously all the health stats are different. It has to random up to like 20 health anyway, so it'll only take 3 bullets to take it out anyway. So that's why when I say, like, it goes from 7 to 8, you think, wow, that doesn't really look like much of a difference. Obviously, it correlates with how much bullets it's going to take to actually destroy an AI. That's kind of how we're working on there. But as you can see then, on my run through here, I've also got past 1,000 kills. I'm actually on 1,200 kills at this point. So I'm just basically blowing everything up now. I'm kind of at this stage where I'm like, I kind of need to die here because I need to record hard AI. But I'm just still doing very well. So you can see here, I'm just having some fun now. I'm literally just ripping into my LMG. I could have gone, I don't know how long I could have gone on for actually on this run through. But I had to stop at some point because, like I said, I need to record the other bit of gameplay. So yeah, it was a bit, you know, OTT at this point here. Down to 14 HP. You can see that I'm not really trying. I'm just running around in a circle, just constantly firing. And eventually here, I get stuck. And it's not game over, though, because I still got out of it. One of the wolves actually destroyed one of the AIs, and it dropped a health pack. Here's the SG-54. Here we go. The cheeky little shot here. 35 bullets, and that's what I wanted it to do there. It just mows through them, and that's exactly the type of gun that I was looking for. And you can see that at this stage, you know, we've got more chances to put a couple more shots out. So I felt like 35 bullets. It felt alright. It felt good. It might need another increase, but we'll see how it goes. And eventually here, I actually ran out of bullets. Now I'm going to go pick up another gun here. You can see I'm on 1,300 kills. I kind of got too busy in the swing. I wanted to see the score in the top corner, in the top of the screen, sorry. I wanted that to go past 1,000, basically, was my justification for all this. I wanted that 100,000 score, sorry, not 1,000. I get 1,000 score by just getting like 2 shots on it in the first place. But swap to the crossfire. As you can see, there we go. Going into the control room. We get that 1,000 score. And you can see my PC is now struggling to cope with me just constantly reminiscing and just shooting everything now. And eventually I'm going to get murdered right now. You can see there. I was taken to a corner. We actually got past 100,000 score. We actually got to 139,000 score. Now we're going to get onto hard AI. Obviously, you know, people are going to need to play on easy to, you know, get into the grips of the game a little bit. They're also going to need to play on medium then to, you know, that's what you guys have basically been playing. Like I said, it's a little bit easier. This is hard AI now. So, as you can see, they've got a lot more health. They've got a lot more speed. They've got more damage output. And the AI spawner rapid fires the enemy spawning out of the gate. So, have fun with that. The turreted AIs as well will shoot their turrets faster as well. That's also another stat that changes. So, those turret balls, you can see right there, I've already lost all of my armor and I'm now down to 90 HP. So, yeah, it's not the funnest thing in the world here. Also, you can see that when they actually get killed, they blow up in red, pretty much symbolizing you're going to die. Like I did. I lasted 37 seconds. Don't take that out of context. Now we're carrying on with another run-through. I actually had to do quite a few run-throughs on this to actually, you know, get a good score in here. But, yeah, hit the pole. Lost all of my health straight off the bat, which is my armor, sorry, straight off the bat, which is fabulous. And you can just see like how much more difficult it is, how much more fast-paced the game is going. I think I've lasted more than 37 seconds now, which is pretty impressive actually. So we're setting new records. More practice means more perfect. And even though there's a wolf spawn there, I can't pick it up because there's just too many AIs and they're just going too quickly that I can't backtrack and grab it. You can see here that they're all just circling me, and it's all about building yourself up now in the game. Obviously, those that are finding the game too easy, obviously you could jump onto hard AI, and I even just, I don't know why I was doing this, but I don't know, yeah, I haven't put that as my reasoning for that, but eventually we're going to go for another run through here, and basically trying to survive. And I was at this point, I was just like, I actually am struggling to get footage. I'm really struggling, and I thought it wouldn't be that difficult, but you could just see overall the complete comparison between easy and then to hard. You can see how much more damage I'm taking. Now I've got the SG-54 here, and automatically I've done that little spam, and I'm back up to, I'm only down to 30. So it's very nice and encouraging to see that you can keep using the SG, and it's all right. Here I'm trying to use the pistol, and eventually I try to find a way down, get a little bit of a mess here, getting battered around everywhere. Eventually I found my way down, and then I got slowed down a little bit there, and then the wolf goes through and disappears, which is annoying because I couldn't actually take it. But you can just already tell here as we try and move on through. This is what I was trying to do, mow down the AIs a little bit here. And that's what I wanted the SG-54 to do. It wasn't really doing that, or it was, but it wasn't doing it at a rate that I felt was correct for what the weapon was. So that's why I'd obviously got a change in there. But if there are any other weapons that you've experienced in the game which you think are either too weak, too powerful, or maybe just think they need a stat change, obviously let me know, and I can go ahead and have a little look at the weapons and try and potentially balance them out. Maybe we can do a whole weapon guide. You can see there, just by mowing down all of those AIs, we're able to spawn in more wolves. But I have been able to extend the amount of wolves, or increase the amount of wolves onto the level. You can have up to about 4 or 5 wolves now. I did try and cap it at 2, but it wasn't really kind of right. I just felt like, even though the wolves are there and they're constantly taking out the AIs, especially on hard difficulty, like at the moment, I believe there are 4 wolves out there at the moment. It's not making that much of a difference. I'm still having to really work hard to survive. So to increase the wolf cap to like 5 didn't really seem like a problem to me. In all honesty, I felt alright with it. But you can just see here how the extra health on the AIs is really working nicely. How I'm, you know, backing myself up, trying to take out the kills. You can see here, even with the FD98, which is obviously the fastest fire rate weapon, so theoretically it should be getting those kills at the quickest. And that's all I can do there. That's actually my highest score, I believe, so far on hard. Obviously, I wasn't really, I don't know, I was trying my hardest to get some gameplay out. Obviously, maybe if I give it a couple more runs myself, you know, I say give it a couple more runs myself. I mean, I tested it for God knows how long when I was actually sorting this out. But you can just see here how it's... I even tried to go into the control room, see if the control room would give me anything. No, not really. I got stuck in a corner and I tried to get out of it. But as you can see, I get bounced around a lot. Now, if you stand on top of the AIs like this, they don't actually kill you. It's only when they hit you from the side. But eventually, I just tried to get out of it and I just got bounced around everywhere. Why? Yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the backside as I tried desperately to survive and all of that. But I'm really happy with the update. I'm really happy with what's been made. Obviously, the options menu, having that reworked so you can change the graphics to your setting. Obviously, at some point, I need to have a look at being able to allow the settings to be saved at the moment. When you actually select the options, if you then restart the game, you will have to reselect your options. A little bit of a pain. I just need to delve into a little bit more research on getting sure that all those options can be saved and stored in there for you guys. But obviously, like I said, it's been a very, very big update. Pretty time-consuming, pretty stressful, but obviously, getting it all out has been what I wanted. Getting that difficulty setting sorted, the brand new options menu for you guys. The select level, it's a bit of a small one, but obviously just, you know, seeing when you click onto a select level, the actual screen itself is just a lot more visible to showcase the select level and change the background color and making sure that it's full screen as well is great. There's been a few other fixes in there as well, so you will now be able to shoot through the spawn pickups. When there's a wolf pickup and a health pickup that's on the floor, initially you wouldn't actually allow to shoot through those. You'd actually get blocked by those shots. That's been adjusted. In the medical facility as well, those animated doors, also in the control room actually, it's got an animated door as well. Initially, you weren't actually allowed to shoot within the trigger box to open, which actually allows you to open the door. That's now been adjusted, so the projectiles will shoot through that. So there's been a couple of fixes in there as well as obviously the main purpose, which is obviously the difficulty settings itself. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for me today. If you have enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new here as well. And I will see you guys next time. Hopefully the update will drop for you guys on Monday, but we'll wait and see. But for now, guys, I'm out. Take care all.